Hi guys, and welcome back. I figured we were going to finish Miss Sophia today. I should have finished her a while ago, just haven't been feeling too good. I am going to be fast forwarding a lot of the parts in this because I plan on finishing this entire picture tonight, and some of the parts are just very repetitive. So I'll do sections, then I'll fast forward and we'll move on to another section. Okay, so as you guys can see, I did finish all of her gems. I didn't put the white outline on it, and I will at the end. So we're going to start off with her hair. Now, you guys know that I have been going back and forth on the hair, and one person in my comment section suggested lavender. Another person that I talked to, excuse me, my throat is so just dry. But another person suggested pink, so I kind of just melded the two together. So the four colors that I'm going to be using is, of course, from dark to light, dark purple, PC931, process red, PC994, lavender, PC934. God, I feel like I'm getting old, like when I have to lift my glasses to see the numbers. And then I'm going to be using the grade lavender, which is 1026. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to start with the process red, and I normally always start with the darkest, but right now I'm going to start with the process red, and we're just going to do this chunk right here for now. So how is the weather by you guys? And as you can see, like I'm just flicking in the color because I don't like coloring in the color because it doesn't give it that hair effect. And if that's what you do, that's fine. This is just what works for me. I know here it is so cold. This morning when my kids went to school, it was -2 degrees. We're supposed to be getting some snow tomorrow and Saturday. Sunday, I think, is going to be one of the worst days yet of the season. The high is supposed to be 9, and that's without the wind chill. I'm going to lavender now. So it's going to be pretty cold. It's probably going to be down into the low negatives. Last year, I think the coldest we got was like almost -30. So I'm hoping it doesn't happen again because that was pretty brutal. So with this, I'm just kind of like flicking into each other and pulling from each other, if that even makes sense. Just to kind of give it like that look like the strands are intertwined. Like they're not just straight strands, you know, butting up against each other. So for right now, I'm just kind of going back and forth with the colors until I kind of get some more coverage, because doing it this way, you get like a lot of those white spaces, and you can take like the grade lavender and put down a base if you wanted to first. I just prefer not to. That's my own personal preference. Okay, so I'm back in with the grade lavender. Flick that in. Now I'm going to go with my dark purple, and right where it's like really, really dark, I'm just going to flick in a little bit of that darker color. Right there. And I'm just doing a very little bit. And then I'm going to do it again down here. Just where, you know, is the darkest. And then up here, I'm going to go back in with the process red just so that it's not such a sharp transition. Okay, and so that is pretty much what her hair color is going to look like. Let me zoom you guys in because I haven't done that yet, so you can see a little bit better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a couple more strands here, and then I'm going to start fast forwarding it. That's dark purple. See, it doesn't matter. So thank you to everybody who has been participating in Mermaiduary. There's some beautiful, beautiful pictures coming in. They're all beautiful. But I was really surprised about how many people had entered. So that was really nice. I have been keeping track. Remember, if I have not liked your photo, that means I haven't seen it yet. If it's newly posted, don't worry about it. I will see it. I normally check it at night and then put them down in the morning, but sometimes I don't check them until the next afternoon. It just depends on what I have going on with the kids and stuff like that. But yes, I follow the hashtag, so every picture that I see, I make sure that I like, and then I put it on the wheel. I was told that there were some entries, but I couldn't see them, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. I'm just going off the ones that I can see. These little spaces here are kind of hard, and like when I was doing these, I seen like a whole bunch in here, so that's going to be something that I'm just going to have to go in and play around with. Try to make sure I get some color up in that area. Just talking to my girlfriend last night and was telling her, I'm like, God, I'm like, I'm getting migraines really bad, and my throat, like I'm always clearing my throat. And she's like, it's probably because of the heat. And I didn't even think of that, to be honest with you, because it's just, after a while you just get used to the heat. And I'm like, yeah, that's probably exactly what it is. My lips were always chapped. Just winters are just blah. I don't like winter. I like the snow as long as it's just a little bit on the ground, or if it's in somebody else's yard, it's really pretty. But I don't do the cold very well. Okay, so as you've seen, I just kind of played around with the colors a little bit. So that's pretty much what it's going to be throughout, her whole head. I'm going to do that a little bit. And I still haven't gone in and I still haven't done her makeup. I'm really, really thinking that I want to darken up her skin tone just a little bit. These really dark areas in here, I'm just coloring the whole thing. But I think I want to darken up her skin just a little bit, but we'll see once I add the water and everything else. Oh, and all right, guys, don't laugh at my chicken scratch, but I did draw in, like, I don't know if you guys can see this little plant here, like I was talking about before. I did draw it in. It's not beautiful, but it worked for the purpose of what I want it for. I just want it to be a little magical plant. That's all. In the little magical lantern. But yeah, I figured I would do that off camera because I knew there was going to be a lot of erasing. There was going to be a lot of maybe not so nice words being said to the paper. When it comes to drawing, sometimes I can do it and be satisfied with it. Other times it's like, yeah, no. You'll be lucky on those days to get a decent stick figure. Okay, so we're going to go back in. Let's do a little bit more here. Okay, so from here, I'm going to fast forward, and I will see you guys all back in a minute. I'm going to turn my music on here and get this going. So I'll see you guys all in a minute. Okay, now we're back. So the hair, as you see, is finished. Let me move my phone out of the way. So the next thing I'm going to tackle is, first we're going to do this little plant, and then we're going to start tackling the outside of this lantern thing. So for the plant, I decided to use those Copic at use Spica pens again. I just picked out 2 greens, a dark and a light, because I want it to be sparkly, kind of magical. At least in my head, it's magical. So all I'm going to do is just outlining this with the dark, and then I'll just go in and color in the center with the light. Like I said, you guys, I am not a Picasso, so this plant isn't the greatest, but hey, I tried. And I don't even know if you guys can actually see it or not. Okay, so now that that's done, I want to work on the inside, the part where it's going to be kind of glowy, and I need to sharpen up some pencils. But so I decided to use neon yellow. I have the deco yellow that we used to begin with over here, and then I'm going to bring in some of this sand. So let me sharpen these two really quick. Okay, so first I'm going to go in with the sand, and that's going to be like my dark color, because I really don't want this to be really dark. Like I want it to be, that's why I brought in the neon yellow. I want this part to be pretty bright and kind of magically looking. And I'm also going to take this sand color, and I want to bring it over here where I put this light, kind of casting stuff. I mean, you know, I'm just playing around here. Okay, so then I'm going to go back in with the deco yellow. I'm just going to kind of pull that all out, blend it in a little bit. And now in here, I'm kind of going over the whole thing like it really doesn't matter, because once I put on that neon yellow, it's going to make everything pop anyway. Let me see if you guys can actually see this. I don't want to zoom in too much where it gets like out of focus. So neon yellow, and it just makes everything like brighten up and shine a little bit. And I'm still trying to keep a little bit of that deco yellow in there. I'm just kind of going right around that plant area to give it a little bit of that brightness. And we'll go over here just a little bit. Okay, so that is pretty much how I'm going to do that. Later on, I'm going to come in, maybe put some sparkle in there, like little dots or something. I'm not 100% sure yet, but it doesn't matter because we're going to move on. All right, so I'm going to zoom you guys back out just a little bit here because on my screen it's pretty distorted and I don't want that. Okay, so for the next colors, oh, I don't even know what the number is. Hold on. I got a replacement pencil just in case if I run out. So this is going to be Chocolate 1082. And then I'm going to use my Mineral Orange again, which is 1033. I'm going to do Goldenrod, which is 1034. I have Canary Yellow, which is 916. And then I have my Cream, which is 914. So those are the 5 colors that I'm going to use on the lantern. Let me give this Goldenrod a little sharpen here. Let's see if I can get this Canary Yellow to sharpen one more time for me. It's pretty small, but we'll see. If not, like I said, I got another one on standby because I knew that it was going to be a maybe. Okay, I got a little bit of a sharpened edge on there. All right, so I'm going to start out with this chocolate stay. And I'm just going to go around like these dark edges here. Now, I'm not going to do the chain just yet. And I'm not really worried about these little dots because I'm going to come in and do those separate. And you can kind of see them under the pencil anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. So I'm going to do the majority of this lantern in this kind of color. And I don't know if you want to call it like a goldish color or more of a copper because I'm adding the orange. I don't know. To me, it is kind of an in-between. Because normally when I do gold, I do same colors, except for I eliminate that mineral orange a little bit. I'm going to leave that down there just like that. And like for this, it's just kind of one of those where it feels natural. Like you don't have to go and like outline everything with your, your darks and things like that. I always just kind of do it like where the shadow parts are. Like on the parts that are kind of lined, I make sure that like I like my light in the center of them. I don't know. It's just how my brain works. Okay, we're going to do this little part here. We'll jump up here, do the same thing. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and do this like chain link stuff the same way. But it's so tiny that I don't know how much we're going to be able to see it. And I'm going to go ahead and do her bracelet the same color scheme here. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go with my mineral orange. I'm going right over that chocolate color, and I'm just bringing that orange out. Up here, I'm just kind of, to be honest with you, I'm just kind of like guessing where I'm putting color. Because it's so little. And in these little spots, you don't have to use all 5 colors. You can use the ones that are most prominent to you, like the effect that you want to get, and then just put one of the light shades in between. So then you get like that shine area. But I wanted this to be like more coppery, bronzy, I don't know. It's so quiet in my house tonight. Normally I can hear like the dogs moving around and things like that, but they're so quiet that it's kind of nice, like it's kind of peaceful, but on the other hand, it's kind of weird because, well, with, an army of boys, it's never quiet, ever. I want to try to get a couple more videos, at least one more video recorded tonight because the weekend's coming up, and my boys are off of school Monday, as I'm sure most of you who have kids, your kids are off too. So I'm going to go ahead and use that goldenrod and go back in. So those are the days that it's hard for me to record, so I try to get as much as I can done before the weekend hits. I want to say if anybody wants to come to one of my private live streams, send me an email. So this way I have your email address and I can send you a link. I don't do them very often. It's just every once in a while I get a hair up my butt and say, oh, I want to do it. And I jump on and have some fun. And I never release them because it's not fair to people who weren't there. It's just to kind of get together and I normally do it like on my really bad days when I just need to release some stress. And I can get on there and I can, I don't have to like watch what I say, you know, with my potty mouth and things like that. I can just de-stress. All right, so now I'm going to go in with this canary yellow and we're going to brighten it up a little bit. And like down here, I'm not going to go ahead. I'm not going to put that canary yellow in down there. I'm just going to put the cream in. Because in those little spots, it's really hard. Same thing with right there. And I am going to put a little bit of this yellow up here where that mess is. Okay, now I'm going to go in with the cream. And I'm literally just going to blend it all together. And the reason I chose this color scheme for the outside is because I did the yellow in there and I didn't want it to be too close, like yellow on yellow. So that's why I didn't go with like a brighter gold. I wanted something a little bit more subdued. I shouldn't say subdued. I should say just a little bit of a different contrast. Okay, almost done here. Do the bracelet. And that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to go and I'm not going to put on a second layer. I'm not going to do any of that. Like I'm just going to leave it like that. Okay, so that part is done. I'm going to go ahead and I'm trying to decide what I want to do because I want to do Neos in the background. I want to put in some Finetech paints over here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do the Neo background first. Only because if I go over this with a little bit of that, the water-ish color, it's not going to matter because the Finetech will cover it up. Okay, so first what I want to do, and I'm just going to do a couple, and then I'm going to fast forward me doing the rest of the bubbles. Let me bump you guys back out real quick. So I'm going to take my, let me slide this out, my little circle stencil-y thing. And my dear friend Kathy gave me, let me take these out. So she sent me this tin of 10 Neo Color metallics, but now they're Neo Color ones, so they are not water soluble. But the good thing about them is they are water resistant. Now, if you guys know my youngest son, he is all about gold. Like, oh my God, gold, 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 gold. So over the weekend, I was playing with these just to make sure that the Neos would go over it, the Neo 2s would go over it, and it wouldn't muddy up the stuff too bad. So he insisted that I do gold bubbles. So that is what we're going to do, is some gold bubbles. So the first thing I'm going to do is that spot that I told you guys before, is I'm going to cover that up. And I'm literally just going to go in and color that bubble in. Now, after I make like that initial one, I do go back in and I clean it up. Just because if there is like any white space in there, the Neo 2s will go into that white space. If that made any sense at all. So then, you know, I'm just going to add some smaller ones, some bigger ones. And I'm going to go, I was just going to do the top, was my original plan. Just going to do that top portion, but I decided that I was just going to do it around the whole picture, just to have some bubble fun. And this is why I'm going to fast forward it, because I know that this part takes time, just, you know, making sure that it's all colored in. Because when I do the Neo 2s, I'm not going to be too cautious around those. Like, it's just going to be whatever works. If I can, you know, squeeze it in, I'll squeeze it in. I'll try to work around it, but most of the time I'm just gonna let it do its own thing. Let's put one of these here. We'll overlap those bubbles a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna keep going, I'm gonna finish my bubbles, and we'll come back and we'll play with some nails. Okay, so this is where we're gonna go with our golden bubbles. Now I'm kind of nervous about the water because it's something that I haven't really tested out. I picked out some colors, but I figured, you know what, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to wing it, and hopefully it works, because when Xander and I were playing around with it, I just did the gold with like a solid bluish kind of color just to make sure that it didn't go inside of it. So let me grab, because I'm not prepared, of course. Let me grab my little towel here to use with my water. Sorry for the shaking. Okay, so the colors that I opted to use were 5 different colors. Well, actually, I think it's just 4. No, it's 5. So I got this, if I can read these. This is greenish blue, sapphire blue, turquoise blue. I got a violet and a light blue. So that's kind of what we're going to go with. And I'm going to do it in sections, or try to at least. I know down here it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I'm not too worried about that. The only thing that I want to do is I want to try to get a little bit closer with this gold around this chain. And this bubble was like one of those, should I do it bubbles? But I figured, why not? Try it out. And it's a little weirdly shaped, but that's okay. All right. So we're going to start up here, and I'm literally just going to start laying in color. And I'm going to try to lay it in kind of horizontally. So this way, if the colors don't blend all the way, it still has like that water movement going. Now I'm trying not to color on the gold, so that is the one thing that I'm being mindful of to go around. But doing the water part, I'm not too concerned about it. And the purple, I'm just doing the purple very, very sparingly, just to add a touch of something different. Okay. And you know, I probably didn't need to use all these colors, but I was just like, oh, I like this one. Oh, I like that one. Well, from there, the monster was created, and I just kept going. Now, I could do the whole page if I wanted to, and then come back and do the water. Um, and that's what a lot of people do. I just like working in sections. That's just me personally. The only bad part about working in sections is sometimes you don't get that uniformity, but it's water, so it doesn't really bother me. Let's take, I want my big brush, well, the biggest one that I have. I did try, before, I did try using one of Arteza's, the flat brushes, like these flat ones. And I don't know, I couldn't get the Neos to blend very well with them. And that might have been just operator error. I don't know. So I'm just going to use the brush that I normally use. Throw our towel up here and let's go. And I was thinking, you know, when I started trying to think about my water, if I wanted it to be light, if I wanted it to be dark, and I decided that to me, it really didn't matter. I wanted it to be magical. So I wanted to throw a whole bunch of colors at it and just let it go. So as you can see, like I'm going over these gold bubbles here, and you can see where the, like it kind of goes on there, but then you just kind of go in and it wipes right off of there. And none of that color sticks to it. Like it's so super easy. And you can do that at the end. Like you don't even have to go in with a wet brush. You can just take your towel and dab it off of there and it comes off really easy. But yeah, just like it's like when you wax your car, it just beads up on there. So I thought that was kind of neat. I haven't really played around with the Neo ones. Well, A, because I don't have any until I got this set. But B, you know, Neo 2s was a thing because you can do a whole background with them. They're water soluble. You just, you know, put them down and paint away and then you're done. So, okay, so that is that section. And that's kind of what I was going for, like just this, you know, the only thing that I don't like is this part right here. There wasn't enough dark that went around it. I put that light around it, but that's okay. Just kind of like that, whatever color, let's just have some fun and let it flow and be magical. Because I am going to put some sparkle around here. But I made, when I did this like green here, I kind of did too straight of a line. And when I was blending it, I didn't bring it down far enough. But I'm not going to keep messing with it or the paper's going to start buckling. So I'm just going to leave it. And then I'm going to just repeat and do the same thing. I just have to kind of remember to, when I do this, to kind of not leave them in a straight line like that. Maybe just bring them down a little bit. And I think the hardest part is going to be this section in here. So I'm going to just drop color in here and there and hope for the best. So once I get done with this section here, and get past this pain in the butt part, I'll go ahead and we'll fast forward one more time. Well, yeah, about one more time. And then we'll come back and we'll do a little bit more that needs to be done. And then I think she will be complete. Okay. I just don't want to go over that like chain stuff way too much. But like I said, the Finetechs or the Coliros or whatever you want to call them should cover that all up. Now I didn't put any of that like greenish color in here because that seems to be like one of the prominent colors. So I didn't want it to overtake all those little bitty spots. So we're going to go with this. And we're going to cross our fingers. And let's see how it works. Maybe I'll do that inside stuff first. See, that's not too bad. It's working better than I thought, even though I think I need to take a little bit off because there's really thin part up there. And I just kind of went over on the Neo and I just kind of rubbed it a little bit to get up in this little skinny part there. Since I didn't lay a lot down in there, it's not like I can grab it and pull it up. And again, guys, if I'm quiet, I'm sorry. As I've always told you guys, I hold my breath when I do this stuff. Especially in these little tiny areas. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to leave it like that. So let's go ahead and we'll finish up the rest of this. And I'm not really paying mind to, and I guess I should, especially when I'm, trying to explain to you guys what I'm doing. Like, I'm not really paying mind, though, to, like, it blending perfectly. Because, it's water, and water has lines in it and waves in it, and it's broken up into many different parts. So I'm just kind of going with the flow. Oh, going with the flow. Haha. Okay, that was kind of lame, but, guys, it's late. You guys know this. Actually, it's not too late tonight. It's only 1:15. So that's kind of early for me to be recording at least. Let's do this in here. Okay, so that is pretty much how my water is going to look through the whole thing. So once again, guys, I will see you all in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and we'll come back. See you in a minute. Okay, so I went ahead and I let it dry. While I was letting it dry, matter of fact, I missed one. I see it right now. But while I was letting it dry, I went ahead and I did my white around all of my crystals up here to get that out of the way. I also added some white to the gold bubbles that we did. So now I pre-wet these. I was kind of letting them sit so this way they're not too watery and they work a little bit better. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to work on this chain part real quick. So for the chain, I'm just going to use like a gold color, this golden color right here. Let's mix up that paint. And I'm just going to do each like little, because there's lines and there's dots. So I'm going to do all the lines, what I'm working on. And this is like that tedious stuff, you know? It's like all the end details. But to me, that like those end details are what makes the picture, you know? You can color it and that's fine. But when you do that little extra end stuff, it makes it just kind of pop out. And I don't know, to me, it just makes me feel like, okay, I actually took the time to complete it and to do everything that I had set out to do. And I don't know about you guys, but like when it comes to like these little details, sometimes I forget. So in my head, I'm like, oh, I got to remember to do this and I got to remember to do that. And I forget some of them. So sometimes I have to make myself a list like, okay, this is what I still need to do. This is what I have in my head. Because lately, and I don't know if it's because of my medications or what, like lately my memory's been shot. Like I can't remember anything. Um, normally I'm a pretty decent speller. And the other day I was writing a note, I think it was to my son's teacher. And for some reason, like half the words, I just totally blanked on how to spell them. Like, I don't know, it bothered me. Okay, so I did those. And then I don't know if you guys are actually going to be able to see that or not. All those little lines. And then I'm going to go in with this like champagne-y kind of color, I guess you can call it. And you know, I know these have colors. I just don't know what they are. But I'm just going to come in with those and like all these little bitty dots. I'm just going to dot with that color. Like I said, it's not like anybody's going to really see the difference. It's just for my benefit. And I could have done this off camera and been done with it, but I just wanted to, you know, tell you guys my thought process. And I just seen something, and I'm going to have to go back and fix that. In between these links right here, I missed a little bit of the water. The water looks like the blue stuff. So I'm going to have to go back in and touch that up. But like all these little things here, like it goes pretty quick. Okay, so that's just about done. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do this wall that I left down there, the same color. Okay, so I think that covers that. I am going to go in really quick. And where's my water brush? And I'm just going to pick like that mid bluish kind of color. It's always those little things that I miss. I'm just going to drop color in there real quick. Okay, so that's done. Just more satisfied there. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is, and I've been looking at her skin on and off, and I think I'm just going to leave her skin as it is. I was thinking about darkening it up, but I'm not. So from there, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish her face up a bit. So I'm going to take this processed red since I used it in her hair. And that's just what I'm going to use just on her cheeks, just a little bit, just to add a little bit of color. And I go really light just until I get it to kind of be what I want it to be. So there, like I said, it's just a little bit of color. And I don't know if you guys can see that. I can. All right, so now let's move on. So I'm going to take her tail colors, but I'm going to eliminate that the Cobalt Turquoise. I'm going to eliminate that. So we're going to start with the Aquamarine. And I'm going to try to keep my hand out of this mess here. So I'm going to start over here. That Aquamarine. Just in those corners. I am going to bring it down a little bit underneath her eye there. I'm just going to bring it up just a little bit over her crease. Like, I don't know, when I do pictures, sometimes I'll go like way above their crease. Sometimes I'll stay within the crease. It's just a personal preference. Okay, so then I'm going to take this light aqua. And I'm going to go on this side a little bit. Same thing over here. Again, I want to bring it down underneath. And you don't have to do the underneath part, like I'm just doing it for exaggeration purposes. Okay, then I'm going to take that super light green, and I'm going to go right in the center there. Just like that, just to give her a little bit of her tail color coming up into her eye. Okay, the other thing that I want to do is I want to take this light green, and normally like I use like a grayish blue, but I'm not too worried about it today. Just because I have this here, but I'm going to take this really pale green and I'm going to put just a little bit of color in the whites of her eyes. Only because, you know, the whites of our eyes aren't actually white. So I want to just make them just a little less white, I guess you can say. And then I'm going to take my skin color here. Let's see what says peach. And I'm going to put it right in this little tear duct because I realized I missed that. Okay, so there's that. Now let's do her lips. We'll go some of this Aquamarine. And light aqua. I don't want to, you know, overdo it. Okay, and I did leave some little white highlights. I don't know if you guys can see them or not, but I am going to go in and then just add a little bit more to there just to make it pop out just a little bit more. Okay, so then from there I have, let's see. We'll use this one. I really like these King Art Fineliners. Like I tried them, I ordered them, I tried them, and I decided that I really like them. Okay, so then we're going to give her some big fancy, I'm not going to go too exaggerated. We're just going to do some eyelashes here. And I didn't do them earlier because some of these like come out into her hair. Oh, that one got a little dark, but that's okay. So I'm going to do the same thing over here. You guys ever have like issues with one side over another when it comes to like eyelashes and eyebrows? I know I do. Like when I'm coloring a picture, like I have to turn it all the time because it just feels weird, like I can't get the angle right. And her right eye, oh, on any picture, the right eye is always, it always looks funky when I do it. It always just doesn't look the same. Okay, so we did all that. Then I want to do her tail. Now I'm going to, what I want to use is this number 5, this Jelly Roll 05. Sometimes it will work and sometimes it doesn't. So I have 2 of them here just in case. So with her tail, like I seriously just want to, of course, this one's not going to work. This one might be better. Like I just want to put in little dots all over her tail. And I mean, it's a pretty easy process. I add some big dots here and there. And I'm literally just dotting everything up. Now on the outsides, I'm going to go all the way down. When it comes to these inside parts, I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm just going to go about 3/4 of the way down. And you can't really see it on the like super light areas anyway, but again, I know it's there, so it counts. And we are going to go back up to the water, and I want to do something else. That's kind of why I had to wait for it to dry, because I got another little plan for it. Okay, about halfway done. I'm sorry, guys. I guess I could have done half of this and then showed you guys what I did. But hindsight's 20/20, and I'm just going to keep pushing along here. And I'm not doing them in any random order. Like I'm just, just dotting away. And I want to make sure I get all the way up in that tail. And I probably could have done this with some like watered down acrylic with like a toothbrush. My only fear with that sometimes is because it goes everywhere and it sometimes comes out really big, big splatters. And I really wanted it to just be confined to this space. And I like the 05 Jelly Roll only because it gives you these really, really tiny dots. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see all that or not. It just looks a little sparkly, I guess. So then I'm going to go in and I'm just going to add, of course, I should have just kept going. I was going to add some like little sparkle spots. Just here and there. And if your sparkle spots don't come out like exactly, the way that you want them, the way that I learned how to do them that looks a little bit better, at least in my eyes, is just to take like an intersection and if your pen works, just draw an X. Course. But if you just draw an X and then just kind of dot it in the center, that'll give you, a little shine spot. I just like doing it a dot in the center and then pulling it out. I'm going to do one more up here. Okay, so there is that. Like I said, I want to come up here and I want to do some on the crystals, and I won't do it all on camera. I'm just gonna show you down here on these. So I'm not going to be too extravagant with it. You guys see, like, I have so much white on my hand because my pens just don't want to work right. It's really irritating me. So I just want to do some little shine marks. I don't even know if you guys can see those or not. Probably not. You know. Okay. So then I want to do the same thing inside of here. I just want to do these little, get my growly face on. I just want to do these little like dotty things again. The issue is it's not really showing up in the yellow. That's okay. I can always go in, and I probably will go in with some like stickles and add that to it just to make it a little bit more shiny. Or matter of fact, I do have, if I can locate it, and probably, oh yeah, right here. So this is that At You Spica. It's clear. So I can always just go in and make some dots with that. And let me see if I can let you guys see how that looks. I don't know if you guys can actually see that sparkle or not. But it is there. Okay, so then with this background, and we're almost done. I'm going to show you guys what I want to do with the backgrounds, and from there I think we're good. Oh, these little dots here inside, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to take that champagne color and drop it in these little dots that are that we covered up on the lantern. And I mean, that's literally just dropping in just a little bit of shiny stuff. You don't even have to like really paint it. You can literally just like dab your brush on each circle. Excuse me. Okay, and see there, that's done. Okay, so put my brush in there, move this out of the way. So my next thing that I want to do is, I'm going to need my spray bottle. I need to move a few things out of my way because it's going to be a little bit messy. Not horribly messy, but I don't want to get everything ruined over here. Okay, let me grab my little sheet protector here. Now I'm going to kind of move her out of the way for a minute and just use this. So I'm going to take, this is called Robin's Egg Blue. It's by Folk Art. It's extreme glitter acrylic paint. But so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit. That might mean too much, but that's okay. Let me grab, excuse me 1 second, you guys. I don't have toothpicks in here, but I do have a Q-tip. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to tear off all the cotton, or as much cotton as I can, off the Q-tip because I don't need all that. Sometimes it comes off really easy, and sometimes you kind of have to fight with it to get that cotton off. And if it's not all off, it really doesn't matter for this. I just find that when I use it, I don't like all that cotton. So now I'm going to spray this paint and get it kind of watered down, and take my modified Q-tip here, and I'm going to mix it all together. And you'll see, like, if it's the color that you want, or if it's like glittery enough, because when you move it, you can literally see the glitter in it. And if you just kind of do it like this, like, you can see how much glitter it's going to use. I'm going to put just a tad more, just a little drop if I can do it. This is the hardest part, like trying to get the right amount of paint to water. Like, that's where I always struggle. But okay, well, that looks good for me. So I just leave that there. So then from there, all I want to do is I want to take my fan brush here, bring my picture back. This is the only time that I kind of have to be mindful of those bubbles. So I want to just dip into this blue and then kind of pull it out like so. And I just want to just brush this into that water, but always, you know, going with the flow, the motion of the water. Kind of like a dry brush effect. But why I like using the fan brush is because I can kind of tilt it and just do it around the bubble so I'm not going over it. I can kind of maneuver it the way that I want to. And you don't have to use a fan brush. You guys can use whatever you want. You guys can use your finger. It don't matter. I'm just giving you guys some ideas of how I do things. And I'm always really careful around the skin, because getting blue glitter stuff around on the skin is just not always good. Okay, so a little bit more here. And I just use a sheet protector. I do have, and I'm not worried about the outsides, I do have like those cheap dollar store thin like cutting boards, or like you can use like acetate, but this is just fine for me. Okay, so that will be probably about it. And I don't know if you guys can even see the glitter, but there is a lot of glitter from all that paint in there. Maybe once I do the final picture and I put it on Instagram, maybe you guys can see that a little bit more, but there is lots of glitter on there. Okay, so that is out of the way. From there, I'm just going to go ahead and go in and literally just do some just fine details. Like almost everything is done. I'm just going to go in and with the pen that might work, add in some little shines, and that pen's not going to work. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this. My signal, like, it just always never fails me. I just don't like that I can't get the thin lines that I want with it, but I can deal with it. I'm not even worried about it. But yeah, so I'm just going to go in, make a few little shine marks, and call the picture done. I thought about putting some glitter in her hair and things like that, and I decided, nope, I'm going to let her just be magical with her little crystals and let it be. Okay, so I think that's about as far as I'm going to go with it. Hopefully I'm not forgetting anything. So that is the final piece for little Sophia here. Guys, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel and you like what I'm doing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you guys wanted to, you guys can go all the way up with her tail with the sparkle, her little top, her skirt, it doesn't matter. I just wanted her tail sparkly, my personal preference. But otherwise, guys, I will see you all soon. The next picture, I don't know if I'm going to be doing a mermaid. I do have one picked out, but I have another one picked out that I might want to play around with. We'll see. All right, so until next time, love you all. Have a great day, and I'll see you later. Bye.